Imagine walking through London, but every step you take is over human bones. Skulls pulled from the River Thames, ghosts trapped beneath the Roman roads. This is a city that has been burned, cursed, and reborn again and again. You see, ancient London wasn't just a city, it was a graveyard pretending to be alive. When people think of London today, they imagine red buses, royal palaces, Big Ben, and bustling streets. But beneath those very streets lies a city far older and far, far darker. This isn't just a story of kings and queens. This is a story of blood-soaked roads, severed heads on spikes, burning cities, deadly plagues, human sacrifices, brutal punishments, and restless ghosts that refuse to leave. Welcome to the ancient history of London, a city, literally built on bones. Long before London even had a name, this land was a wild, muddy, and dangerous place. Around 2,000 years before Christ, Celtic tribes settled near the River Thames. To them, rivers were living gods. So, the Thames wasn't just water, it was sacred and terrifying. Archaeologists have found thousands of human skulls, weapons, and bones dredged from the river's muddy floor. Why? Because the Celts practiced ritual human sacrifice. Prisoners of war and criminals would be beheaded, and their heads displayed on wooden spikes. To the Celts, the head was the seat of the soul. Warriors believed that keeping an enemy's head gave them power in the afterlife. Even today, when the water levels of the Thames drop, ancient skulls still emerge from the mud-silent witnesses of forgotten sacrifices. Everything changed in the year 43 AD. The Roman Empire invaded Britain, and they didn't come peacefully. They came with iron swords, unwavering discipline, and unimaginable cruelty. They founded a city called Londinium, starting as a simple trading post but quickly growing into a massive military stronghold. Within just a few decades, it became one of the most important cities in all of Roman Britain. But Rome brought order through fear. Justice was swift, public, and absolutely merciless. There were public whippings for minor offenses, crucifixions for rebels. Slaves could be beaten to death for disobedience. A thief might have their hand or leg cut off in the town square. This was the foundation of London city, built on both commerce and terror. But one of the most brutal moments in London's ancient history came from a woman. Her name was Queen Boudicca. Around 60 AD, after Roman soldiers flogged her and brutally assaulted her daughters, she united the Celtic tribes in a massive, furious rebellion. Her army, tens of thousands strong, stormed Londinium. The Roman defenders fled in panic. What followed was pure horror. London was burned to the ground. Men, women, children, everyone left behind was slaughtered without mercy. Archaeologists digging beneath modern London still find a thick, red layer of ash and debris, a layer known as the Boudiccan destruction layer. Tens of thousands died. London didn't just fall. London didn't just fall. When Londinium was eventually rebuilt, Rome brought something new with it. The Romans built a massive amphitheater near where London's Guildhall stands today. Here, enormous crowds gathered to watch spectacles of death. Gladiators hacked each other apart for sport. Criminals were executed by wild animals, torn to pieces in front of a cheering audience. Prisoners of war were burned alive. Captured enemies had their throats slit for applause. In Roman London, death wasn't hidden away, it was a show. People cheered. Children watched. Blood soaked the sand of the arena. This city learned early on that violence could be entertainment. Then, by 410 AD, the Roman Empire collapsed. The legions abandoned Britain, leaving London defenseless. What followed was a dark age of absolute terror. Saxon invaders raided from the sea. The city descended into lawlessness. Starvation became common. The grand Roman buildings were abandoned and fell into ruin. Wolves were said to roam the empty streets. For a time, ancient London almost disappeared from history. Fires, raids, and disease turned it into a ghost town. Some believe this is when London truly earned its reputation as a cursed city, one that was destined to rise from destruction again and again. Centuries later, one of the most horrifying chapters in London's history arrived. It came silently. Then it exploded. It was the Black Death. From 1348 to 1350, the plague tore through the city. Within just 2 years, half of London's entire population was dead. Bodies piled up in the streets faster than they could be buried. Mass graves were dug day and night. Huge pits filled with thousands of victims. The church bells rang non-stop, a constant tolling soundtrack for the dying. People believed the disease was a punishment from God. Doctors wore those strange bird-like masks filled with herbs, believing it would stop the plague. It didn't. Entire families died within days. The smell of death hung over the city like a thick fog. Even today, these enormous plague pits lie beneath London's modern streets and parks. In ancient and medieval London, fear was the primary tool for maintaining order. Punishments were unimaginably savage. Thieves were branded on the face with hot irons. The heads of executed criminals were chopped off and displayed on spikes along London Bridge, a gruesome warning to all who entered the city. Traitors faced the most horrific fate of all, to be hanged, drawn, and quartered. Even women accused of witchcraft were publicly burned at the stake. And these public executions were a form of family entertainment. People brought food and drinks. Children would sit on their father's shoulders to get a better view. The louder the screams from the scaffold, the better the show. London was becoming more civilized, but it was also becoming more cruel, with so much death, violence, and suffering baked into its very foundations. It's no surprise that London is considered one of the most haunted cities on earth. Ancient Roman ghosts are said to still walk the paths of their old roads, now deep underground. The whispers of plague victims are rumored to be heard in the quiet corners of old churchyards. Skeletons are constantly being discovered beneath homes, pubs, and even train stations. The past in London never really left. It's buried, but it feels like it's still awake. But despite all the darkness, ancient London had its bizarre and fascinating sides too. Did you know the Romans used aged urine as laundry detergent because of the ammonia? Or that teeth were pulled without any painkillers, often by a barber or a blacksmith? Bread was frequently mixed with sawdust or chalk to make it cheaper. For most people, ale was much safer to drink than water, which was often contaminated. Children, as young as 5, were expected to work. And in a truly strange twist, animals could actually be put on trial in a court of law, just like humans. Life was brutal, short, and filled with horror to the people living it. It was strangely normal. So, this city has been burned to the ground. It's been invaded by foreign armies. It's been decimated by plagues. It's been bombed and abandoned. And yet, it always returned, stronger, bigger, and with more stories to tell. Built on blood, shaped by suffering, and haunted by its past, London is not just a city, it is a survivor. So the next time you walk its vibrant streets, who's remember beneath your feet lie bones, ashes, and stories screaming to be remembered. London isn't ancient history. It's ancient horror, and it's still breathing. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into London's dark past as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more stories from the shadows of history.